Hi everyone, welcome again to this space created for you. Assure for Life give you a warm welcome to this conference that we created for you. As already told you, and us already we create this space for quality of life and also for this time for the elderly adults, for the elderly community. My name is Mariana Zapata and I am psychologist from Assure for Life. We thank you so much for your participation for this space, and also we want to create a great space for the general community, also for learned and have a little bit more of experience and knowledge about some specific topics about, as I already told you, quality of life, and in this case, about elderly. And we are continuing with the topic about the elderly. So we're going to talk today about the senior centers, but more specific about the myths and facts about the senior centers. We are so grateful when you left your comments, questions, and suggestions through our YouTube channel. For the reason we ask you, and also we are grateful if you would like to let us some comments and suggestions through this video channel. We're going to start talking about the senior centers and also about the elderly, because we would like to start a new way to see the elderly. For the reason we already talked about the mental and body health in this stage of life, and also we was talking about how to inform the loss of a lovely or a loved one's person when we are in elderly. And now we are finished our cycle about elderly, talking about the myths and facts about of the senior centers. For that reason, we would like to start talking about the statistics related to aging, and also talking about worldwide data about this stage of life. So, having in account the United Nations give us important data about this stage of life. So we have to understand that this moment will rise more than 426 millions of people around the world, in the elderly in 2015. So we're going to have a lot of elderly people around the world. For that reason, we have to be prepared and also learn about this community in the next years in life. And we have a different population right now. We're going to have a significant social transformation about the people of 21st century, because we're going to have a lot of elderly people in our communities. So we're going to have a different ways to inform the life and also see the society in these next 20 or 30 years. So having in account this data in worldwide data, we have to also have in consequence some financial consequence and also social transformations. We have as a society one responsibility with this elderly new community that expands with the time around the world. The national population is getting older, and the number increase. People of 65 years older in United States will grow in the 35 millions around the world approximately. And now in 2020, these this number increased in 55 millions of elderly people. This is according to the U.S. Census Bureau. These numbers will tell us the impact or directly impact in our communities. A lot of people we are now in our societies, and how we're going to give them a different role right now. The senior service centers are focusing the care of the elderly community in different ways. So one of the most principles take care of these people will be providing meals and social services and housing. Also, in different senior centers or services senior centers, they will find some recreations and other medical care that they can also use for their benefit. In this case, we would like to have different topics in care and also in account for these centers. We will have basic nutrition and medical care are important in this stage of life. For that reason, it's important to understand that the senior centers have or need a certification to have or receive elderly people. In this stage, we will have to be careful to know and also study about these centers, and also if we want to left our grandparents or even our parents in these senior centers. It's important to keep the adults active and also provide a healthy place. And this will be a positive mindset for us and also for them, because this, as I already told you in different conference, will be the way that we can take care of them, not only by our only or even by yourselves. So also you can have the help of different professionals, medicals or nurse that are professional in these different topics, and also some pathologies that we can have in the elderly. So now, knowing this, there are more than 10,000 senior centers in the United States, and also this will be 1 million of older adults will be attendance around the United States, according to the National Council of Aging. The healthier centers or the senior healthy centers have a different activities like classes or fitness classes, parties, and dances, conversation groups that are pretty important in this stage of life, that will congregate some meals reunion or some meals group. There you can also be a person that can service in these senior centers, and also they can give to our older adults a companion and support in this stage of life. Knowing this, we would like to tell you that we create this space for some reason in specific, and is to talk about sometimes we can be fear, or we can feel some guilt for think about these senior centers and also left our family in these spaces. Knowing this, life is like a garden. It requires constant and care and loving attention. Keep growing beautiful moments. We introduce with this quote with the purpose to understand and see these senior centers with a new point of view. We would like to also give you one introducing definition about the centers of the elderly. These are places of comprehensive care designed for elderly people whose integrity is defined as being vulnerable and who require social assistance to stimulate process of autonomy. This service promotes the exercise of rights within the framework of human security, encouraging activity aging, working on intergenerational responsibility involving families and the community, thus contributing to reduce social segregation. For that reason, with this concept, having in account all the things that we have to know about the senior centers and also the goal or the objective of these centers, we would like to introduce you also to the some mindset or fears that we have as a family, and also as a people that we care, some adults, older adults that we have in our family, parents or maybe grandparents, when we start to think about if they can be better in these senior centers. Sometimes we feel fear and guilt because um, we think that we going to left them in a workplace or in a hostile place. But we can start to study about the place and also about the topic and question about how we can help them in a different way with professionals and also with the care of different people. We create this space in order to demystify these beliefs that we have as a culture and also as individuals. And we're going to start with the first myth. And the first myth is all centers for the elderly are hostile places. And this is one of the first myth that we start to believe because we thought in most of the times we have this belief that these places are rude with our older adults, and we have to take in account that sometimes we have to take the time to search for a different senior centers or seniors clubs that will depend of your state or even will depend of the dedication of these places or the time experience that they already have as a senior center. The fact is that it will depend on the center that is chosen and whose care and their intervention strategies that must be first studied and implemented in the centers. So we have, as a family, the compromises to be careful in the moment that when we're going to choose a first place for them. And also we can left the chance to our older adults to choose the place if they feel comfortable the first week or the first 2 or 3 days. If they express that they feel comfortable and safe in these senior centers, then you can have the chance to complete a good decision in this moment, or even in a different space or a scenario. If the older adult tell you that is a rude place or they don't feel comfortable in that place, will be a good sign to decide this is not a good place and also start to look for other senior center. Other myth that we have is senior centers are places that are negligent or of the particular needs of each older adults. We have in our minds that sometimes or maybe in these senior centers we don't going to have some professionals, personal or people that are they have the experience to take care our older adults that sometimes have some pathologies or mental illness or physical illness, and these people in a specific need more attention and care. For that reason, we have to be in account or take in account that these places are always completed or they have the enough staff of the people that will care about our older adults. So they are medical or nurses, people specialized with these special needs that will have our older adults. For that reason, as I already told you, we have to do an specific and deep investigations about the different senior centers or seniors clubs. Let me tell you the fact. The fact is in all center for the elderly, we with comprehensive care, there are activities and constant assistance and care, such as entertainment and health care and care for special needs and too much more for their our special needs. Other myth that we have as a society, and also as families, we have that this myth that they don't celebrate special dates. They don't commemorate the special days, like the birth, like the New Year or Christmas or the Mother's Days or the Father Days. Sometimes we have in mind that they don't celebrate these special dates. And for us as a family and as a community, it's important to celebrate these special dates. And the fact that they always have different types of celebrations. Sometimes we can find senior centers that celebrate every month a different activity or special date. And also, these senior centers host parties and fairs private with some companies that give to the senior centers some special celebrations because they would like to be part of these senior centers in different activities. And also corporate events and special days are always a priority in a good senior center. The other myth that we have is there are not enough trained employees, professional and specialists in centers for the elderly. As I already told you, and as we already talked, we have this belief because maybe we don't know the people that work in these kind of senior centers. The staff, know the staff will be a good way to feel confidence when we're going to complete the decision. If we would like to left our older adults in these centers, we have to be careful to take in account this type of situation when they have a professionalness to the older adults. And also it's a key to understand and also see how the older adults looks, because if they look good, if they see happy, if they see comfortable, you will have a good notice, and also you will have a good notice, a good way to understand that they are in a great place to feel comfortable and safe. They will be cared if you see the other older adults in this same space. If you see they are happy or they feel healthy, that will be a good sign to feel confidence or feel sure about that decision. The fact is the older people can suffer from mental health related illness, just like people in other age groups. They will have the same care or even more care by these professional people. And also all the senior centers or seniors club have a certification with all the things that are important to take in account. All the needs have to be completed. Other myth is that the elderly enjoy the same rights and visibility as other vulnerable sectors of the population. We have to take in account that the elderly is a different stage of life, and most of the time we take care of other population sectors because we always think that is the specific moment that they are living um, that will help us better, or they will help their better. In this case, as an example, the children's sector population have more care and also more visibility than the older adults, because in this stage of life most of the people think that the older adults is, or the older stage of life is the moment that we can give to the society something important. So that is the way we can realize about the rights for the older adults and start to think about they are important too. For that reason, the fact is in the past year, approximately one of the six people over the age of 60 experienced some form of abuse in community settings. For that reason, these senior centers could be the way that we can confront these situations and also give this community, the elderly community, a new way to be care and also to feel safe in a good place. But also it depends of us and depends of the ways that we going to introduce these older adults in these senior centers. We have to be so careful in these situations and also with our decisions in the way that we can also help them and also help the society to be careful with these special communities. For that reason, we create a specific space to talk about the considerations that we have to take in account. It's important to consider that it's also an act of love and consideration for all family members. Sometimes we feel that is a bad decision because as a family responsibility we have to take care about the consequences of elderly. Sometimes we don't have the time or knowledge about how it is or how it feels to get older, and that have some consequences to the older people health. So we have to take in account that this is also an act of love. Recognize that we can also take care of them, and sometimes we can feel tired or even that we can have the enough strength to take care of them because it's hard for us to understand and be part of that situation and also be part of that cares. So you can have a specific moment as a family to take the better decision and also recognize if you can take care of your older adults or even if you need the special assistance of a professional that can also help you in this process of elderly with your parents or grandparents. Not all institutions or centers for elderly are hostile places. As we already discussed, it's important to emphasize in this point because being able to go and reach for the best options for the all elderly people will be the way that we can also help us to feel better and secure about the confidence and making this decision. So it's important to understand that also if we know a good school, as an example, if we know that this is a good college or a good school, is because I already know about that space. We have some different experience and stories about bad schools and bad college, but as the same way have no good schools or college, as the same way there exists good schools and college, but we have to take care and also do the tax to look for a good way or even a good place for these older people. And other consideration that we have to take in account is the elderly need constant and comprehensive care, medical control support, and entertainment. We have to understand that sometimes we can have the time and the enough energy to provide some good exercises of health for our older adults, because sometimes we are working all the time or even we don't have the experience to take care of them. And having account this, they need medical control and entertainment. Also they need the enough emotional support, and sometimes we lose patients because they need a specific way to treatment, and this is something that we have to recognize as a families and also as sometimes partners, we have to realize that sometimes we can take care of them in the specific needs that sometimes we will have or we will take in the elderly age. For that reason, we would like to share with you what should we do, or in this case, what should I do in order to take care of them in the best way. One of the ways that we can take care of this specific situation, or what we can do in this specific situation, will be learn about it and search the different options that exists for senior centers. We already talked about that. It's important to understand that you have different options. Depends only of you what kind of senior centers will be better for the older adults that you have in your family. Always make sure is certificated centers with integrated care. We have to take in account that the senior centers need to be certificated, and also they have the professional staff to be care or also take care of our older adults. Also, we have to work with all family members involved to have also not the decision but also the care. So we have to take care of all our older adults and giving them calls and also be visiting them. We have to also introducing this new stage of life and also call them and be careful with the decisions in family that you're going to take. To be in constant contact with our older adults is pretty important, because it's the way that you're going to confirm that you are doing this for love and you also still care about your older adults. Actively participating in the activities of celebration that take in this place or in the centers, because it's the way that you can know or realize if they are happy or if they feel comfortable in the senior centers. And also you will be part in this space. And the last one is encourage self-education and study about this stage of life, the elderly. The elderly will be the way that we can also understand how it feels and how we'll experience it. So we have to understand that in this specific moment now in our lives, we would like to also understand and educate about the topic. So we need to study and look for the way that we can compensate the a specific moment in our lives. So we going to learn every day about this stage of life, having in account and having the contact with all our older adults. We would like to close this space with one special sentence that we have for you. The old age is not the end, but the beginning of the new stage. It's the time to leave fears and worries behind and to embrace each date with gratitude and joy. We are so grateful with you and also with your participation to this space. We would like to remember you that you have the benefit with Assure for Life for different three different counseling sessions for mourning or grieving for you or for your family. This is without additional charge, and also you will have one counseling session per year for any other reason. Remember that you have this benefit as a member of Assure for Life, or if you are not member, you will have the chance to see the conference about the quality of life through our YouTube channel. Remember that we also have Instagram and web channel place or web sites where you can also learn a lot of our company and also about the quality of life. Thank you so much for this place. We stand by your side.
Thanks a lot.